Alright everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number 1 of Elysium versus Eternal. It's going to be an unknown on the Rancid Abattoir. I'm your host, Little Rude. Joining me today is none other than Pally Live. Are you ready for some action?
I am definitely ready for some action. You know what? One of my favorite teams in here, and then you have Eternal.
I thought you were going to make it really ambiguous, but no, you're just going to throw it out there. So, you know what? So is this unknown. Again, we hear a little bit of a spectator bug is there's no chase music. They are in fact in chase with Zaka on the most unsafe tower in the game, still swinging and missing over the top, and eventually getting a hit with the UVX, and they'll be running right back into the same tile, using the wall, running around the side. And I'm not gonna lie, this is really upsetting without the chase music.
Kind of relaxing, to be honest with you. The lingering hitbox catching her right at the end there.
That's actually kind of insane that hitbox they ran into. Again, this is a really unsafe area for them to run into anyway. Good of them not to drop the pallet and leave that resource there, but now we got one gen being doubled in center, not the highest progression, but now like this is full range where the unknown can just harass this indefinitely, and yeah, they're even gonna push them away a little bit.
So I'm guessing the chase music bug is a permanent thing for the game then.
If we switch to survivor mode, we can see it, but unfortunately, yeah, it just when you're in the unknown, it just doesn't do it. And unknown's having a really decent start so far, finding an early chase, getting an early down. Ace doing a really good job with balanced landing and getting away, trying to take as much distance on the unknown. They do get the unhook and heal onto Zaka in the meantime. And first gen we also see being done by Lara. UVX coming through, getting the hit.
Oof.
Question is, can they follow it up or not? This is not a safe tile against this killer. Yeah, and they go down. That'll be one gen for 2 hook stages. We see, again, the gen pressure coming back as fast as possible, as obviously there was a pain res earlier on.
Absolutely. You know, the thing about unknown is it's a very punishing killer to play. If you miss, that hurts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unknown is, again, very much a specialty killer, I would say. You've got, you know, Singularity, Nurse, Unknown. I like that we've got a lot more specialty style killers that take a very high skill floor and ceiling. But that's the thing, these killers played at a high level are incredibly devastating too, which is really fun to watch.
Oh, of course. I've seen Nightlight play Singularity. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, that's what I gave up with. We had a lot of Singularity games this weekend, and I'm curious to see if we'll have more before the weekend is over. Oh my goodness, Sokka's doing a great job here, but they are the tunnel target they want to find. They've already been hooked once. Second gen falling as the unhook hasn't come in quite yet. Again, great hold from Zaka. Survivor positioning being an immaculate on this T. Trying to get an angle. Where did they go? They held W to the next tile. Oh, great flick though coming in from Xeno. Teleporting to the other side, maybe trying to get an off-shot angle and also deny them being able to dispel it. Getting it hit through the L. Oh my goodness.
And that's what I'm talking about, unknown being so punishing. The first UVX they missed at this all-wall T-wall here, it cost them so much time.
True. Also using the line of sight blockage to make sure that it's harder for them to dispel, and they do end up missing a second time. Third generator going down. But it's saying, what you gonna do? And unable to actually get the M1 after the teleport there.
Ooh.
Kind of unfortunate for the killer. They get the heal onto Ace. Not having chase music is incredibly unsettling.
It's eerie, isn't it?
It is. It's so much silence.
Claudette's noises are even more scary than the unknown.
Yeah, to be fair, their chase music is actually quite baller. I like that. I also love this teleport sound effect. It is... The Unknown's design was just one of the best designs behaviors come out with, like, hands down. I love this killer.
It's like a return to form, like actual horror, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. We see them onto the Atom now. They will get here, able to drop the pallet if they so choose. They will drop it, and they will be hanging around just a little bit. Ooh, a little bit of... Is that Rookie Spirit? A little bit of R reading there. Trying to fake it, and they will take an M1. We see that Dan's halfway on their generator at the moment. Unhook coming in onto Zaka. Will they go back for it? No, it seems like they want to try and get this. They're gonna miss the UVX though, and I think they might be looking for a teleport momentarily after breaking this pallet. No, they're gonna actually commit.
I'm surprised that didn't get them right there.
Again, the survivors know all the angles on the unknown. They are no stranger to the counterplay here. And Ace is about to finish their generator. However, it's kind of a situation, yeah, not much you can do there. Once they drop the hallucination right there, there's not much you can do. However, they will finish the generator. Zaka has been reset. And that's going to be another pain rest coming in as well. Interesting that this killer is running agitation. I never thought the positioning for hooks would have been important on unknown, but I guess it does kind of make sense for this map in particular, because there are some areas we've had before on this map where there's just dead zones sometimes, and it's not a bad idea to hook in the dead zone.
Oh, absolutely.
Not able to get the hit onto Zaka. Swinging around the side and missing. Not sure where the survivor went. Looks like they actually got away. Also, one thing I'm noticing, this survivor has the same, or this killer has the same bug as the nurse. They have the music from Hook.
Yeah.
Okay,
wow,
so
I just noticed that.
It's the nurse one. Okay, that's what it is. Very cool. But regardless, they do get hit on the Zaka with the UVX. If they can make this chase quick and get the 3v1 going at 1 gen remaining, they could try and hold this to only a couple stages. And again, a 3v1 against a good unknown oftentimes doesn't let them get a gen done, so not sure what we're seeing here. Looks like they're leaving entirely. They suspect this gen is being doubled, and they are correct.
Yeah, they have way too much of a gen split here to commit to that chase.
Yeah, and they do have the survivor in weakness for a while, so they can come back to that chase and possibly get a hit back on it.
Yeah, went for that Hail Mary UVX shot there.
Yep. Oh, Claudette is here. Can they get the try to get a flick shot, but not quite able to land it? Very unfortunate for the killer. And now Unknown has a problem. They needed a chase to be shorter than that, and the survivors are not giving it. There's Laura gonna be taking a tag with the UVX, not going for the M1, wanting to see if they can get a double hit here. No M1
yeah,
through
our
the
killer
window.
has absolutely no pressure right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, survivors just doing a really good job. Bringing this back in the middle and end game can be very difficult. Trying to get more UVX on them. Not able to land it, and that is going to be tough. Adrenaline coming in. The survivors were waiting for that M1 hit and the adrenaline to get the distance away. And now the execute. Okay, we do see Noed. They're gonna need a fresh hook here to try and secure this. They're on Noed already. Oh my goodness.
This is not good.
I don't know if they can get this down before Noed is cleansed. 3, 2, 1. Yep. That is going to be tough one for Elysium Survivor Squad to hold on to. They take the M1. Exit gate not quite open, though. This is a fresh survivor, so they can get this down. They can salvage it, keep it to 7 stages with a 4 fresh. This would be really big for the survivors if they could get the survivor out. Big for the killer if they can get this down on Laura. And it looks like they're just going to take the stages from Claudette. They said, fine, I'll take your 4th stage. No, they teleported. Is it going to be fast enough? I don't think so. And now that means Claudette's going to be able to get out.
I mean, you risk it for the biscuit, but I think, yeah, they still get Claudette.
Yeah, they will come back and get Claudette. They decide not to teleport as far. That is going to be 5 stages to Elysium's Unknown. And a rough start coming in as these survivors in the beginning had some rough chases. Killer did a really good job, but survivors really brought it back towards the end. That was going to be tough.
Oh, absolutely. That was a rough game for our killer here.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading back in for trial number 2. Nightlight is going to be piloting the Unknown this time around. And all right, is this the correct weapon, Tally?
At least until he puts that thing away.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like this weapon personally. I think the candy stick is pretty awesome, but
I was thrown off for a second. I was getting Dredge vibes from that weapon.
You know, they probably have a little bit of a similar thing going on for reals though, but looks like we find, I think this is the Claudette. And see, this is what I'm talking about. They are so good with dodging these UVX shots. Another Rookie Spirit coming out to play though. I'm not gonna lie, I love Rookie Spirit. It is such a baller perk.
It is an underrated perk.
No, I'm sorry. This is Troubleshooter, not Rookie Spirit. Why did I think it was? Okay, I'm bad at this.
Even still, there is a lot of good perks in this game that people just don't think are good. So
True.
Oh.
Claudette doing a really good job here. And it's funny, we're chasing the same place that Claudette did exactly, but they will take a tag M1. Pedro gonna be running back into the map. We see the gen progress is pretty good. It looks like they're doubling up. Oh, and this is just tit for tat the same one. Just the lingering hitbox is so brutal.
Yep. It's very hard to judge the lingering hitbox.
It really is. Also, if they're not careful, they might. I think there was a survivor actually hanging out near here, but not be the case. We do see Pain Res being used on a generator. Okay, these two gens are actually really close together, so it makes sense the survivors are working on these. But that means that these two generators are also getting interrupted during this time. Laura dodging the UVX. I think they're just waiting for the unhook now.
Are they going to teleport back as soon as the unhook happens? It looks like they're waiting for that.
Does make sense. Not quite. I think they were trying to bounce it off, and yeah, they were exactly that. They're waiting for that unhook to happen. And Claudette, to be fair, but after this pallet's gone, this is a dead zone. It's a TNL back here, I think. No, it's a. Oh, I don't know what this tile's called, but yeah, this is not the safest area against another.
This tile's called the I hate this tile.
You know, I'm gonna stick with that. I like that.
Yep.
You know, we'll take a tag to be forced back into the main. And the question is, can Claudette last long enough? They are going to be taking this away from the bottom side of the map, going up towards Shack. And if they can get to Shack, they might have a shot here. Not quite able to dispel just yet. They are going to be able to dodge that UVX shot. We do see the gen being worked on, though. So the survivors have 3 different gens being worked on currently. And they will be able to dispel the weakness. They will take a tag around the corner. It looks like Light getting a little bit of distance, potentially. However, now... What are these lingering hit?
Right back into it.
3 generators popping in the meantime. Elysium said, you know what? We can do the same thing as you any day of the week. Just watch. And look at them go. Jamming out multiple gens for those 2 hook stages. Really being efficient with their gen pressure. This is what we expect of these teams. This gen pressure should be painfully powerful. However, dropping a...
Toxic gen rushers.
Yeah, dropping... Oh, no! Uh-oh. Oh, Infectious Sprite! Telling him exactly where that survivor is. They'll probably end up rotating him for an unhook, but that is going to be a fresh hook coming in. They can only afford to give 2 more hook stages after this, and if they get, you know, if the 5th one is fresh, and there's 4 fresh hooks, that's gonna also give me a win condition. Unhook coming in. Is there gonna be a for the people? I don't believe so. Laura on a gen. Survivor is well aware that they're coming back. Trying to get a UVX onto water. And now it's all down to this Claudette's chase. No, they're actually be leaving for Renato. Yeah, they're actually going for a fresh hook here. And that does make sense. Pain Res would be invaluable here. Lara's just going on a gen. Yeah, Ace getting caught out there unaware was kind of a bit of a devastating play for the survivors.
The location of Ace's hook is huge for pressure.
True. Look at the gens. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. And look at all these hallucinations around here as well.
Our unknown is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Schrodinger's unknown.
Yep.
They are gonna be jamming on gens in the meantime, though. Gonna be splitting pressure on some of them. I think what their plan is like, okay, Ace is gonna clearly go second. I think the unknown's not gonna be happy with that, though. I think as soon as second stage is confirmed, yeah, they're gonna go for another survivor here. It looks like they're gonna be going for Renato. To get the weakness on the survivor. Generator gets finished.
Oh my goodness.
How do they handle this? Oh, they're holding W to the other tile.
Smart.
Able to dodge. The bounce not coming through in the survivor's, in the killer's favor, and that is going to be Renato be able to get to mid-map. However, we noticed that they did get unhook in the meantime. No pallet here, though, so they're going to be taking a hit and going to Shack, I imagine. They got to get a gen done ASAP, and they have to make sure that if Hinatu gets hooked, they have to be able to, you know, get them unhooked, get them out of the gate, and not give a fresh hook. It'll be really, really difficult.
Ooh.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a drop. Checking around the corner. Good read. Look at the pathing on the Survivor, avoiding any possible UV exit.
You got to be careful with that hallucination too.
You absolutely do. Laura in the wing, ready to take a hit as well. Survivors are playing this super aggressively, and I like this.
They're also calling every single bluff.
They are. They're actually be leaving for Ace. Ace got themselves in a little bit of trouble, and it does make sense. Ace is a dead survivor here, and it represents the 5th stage, but if they get this killer, yeah, if they kill the survivor alone, and they don't get anybody else, that's not going to win them the game, because that's 5 stages, 2 fresh, not 3. They're tripling the last generator.
But at what cost?
Is a fair question. We do see that they did bring Noed, and they go down. All they have to do is hook the survivor, and it's over. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
This was a lot closer of a game than I would have given it credit for.
Oh, absolutely. GG.
Yep, that is 6 stages. And, oh, that's gonna give me a headache. Sorry, folks, that is also a spectator bug. We're just gonna be listening to this sound effect for a while.
Isn't it nice?
No, no, it's not. I'm gonna get a headache.
You're fine.
So if Hanatu...
Oh no!
Not able to get it. However,
going for the 4K here?
I mean, it does make sense. You had a really good game. You want to finish it up in style. Survivors had a really tough win condition to try to meet, and they did a really dang good job. But obviously, every time, go for the best possible result, and that is what Nightlight is going to do, and that'll be a 4K 0 coming in for their unknown, and they will be taking set number 1 in style. But again, the score is not very indicative of how close this game actually was. Survivors tried to meet a really tough win con, and they actually got really dang close to it, so props to them. But again,
those lingering hitboxes coming in clutch, though.
I mean, killers and survivors are well aware of them. And to be fair, it might also be a little bit of a spectator thing too. We might not see exactly how it looks, but yeah, no, this really well played from both these teams. But that is going to be set number 1, going to Eternal. And we're just gonna be waiting for the teams to slowly bleed out here as wait out this last hook timer. And
that looks like a delicious weapon.
Right? It looks so good. And yeah, you're right. There are a couple of cosmetics in the game that have a very similar vibe. And you know, I appreciate that. I am curious, is that just like a giant thing of rock candy though that's the base?
Either that or they rated the Breaking Bad movie set or show set.
You know, that is possible. You never know.
Fun fact, that's actually what they used on Breaking Bad was rock candy.
Huh. You know, fun fact, I haven't seen that game or that show.
Well, prepare for chat to go insane.
That's okay. I haven't seen a lot of things that are cult classics, but all right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading back in for trial number 3. Coming in hot, it is the Xenomorph on Family Residence number 2. And I'm not gonna lie, I've only seen Nightlight's Xenomorph a couple of times, but it was disgusting when I did. So, also, Pally, have you played much Xenomorph? Curious.
I've played my fair bit of Xenomorph. It's not something I play every day, but I play them. They are on the roster of killers I play.
Okay. Yeah, this killer, I got into them a little bit when they came out, but then they changed the tail, and I got kind of annoyed, and I just stopped playing them for a bit. This killer is, I feel like they're super hit or miss. I feel like they almost have perfect counterplay with the turrets, but at the same time, like, this killer can get some really unfair hits. You know?
I mean, I think every killer's capable of unfair hits.
That's fair. Speaking of unfair hits, you can 2 for 1?
Yeah. Well, they were still in the middle of setting up the...
Oh, I thought they had finished setting it up. Well, no, they did finish setting it up because the flamethrower went off.
But you can 2 for... It's, I believe that's something that happens right during, like, the end of the setup animation. Because he was still stuck in the animation.
Okay. I see what you're cooking. Regardless, nasty first hit being done. Now Ace running around into the middle of side of main. Debating whether or not to use a pallet. They're gonna go down under it saying, it's fine, I got this. Xenomorph saying, yeah, okay, I believe you. And they do find Ada on the side. Ada from the pallet, getting a nasty hit over the top too with that lingering hitbox. For the people though, coming in onto Ace from Claudette. I was about to say, who had the FTP?
This also means that there is, at the time, only one person on a gen.
True. Gen pressure is going to be lacking a little bit here. Oh, Ada getting turned around. That is going to be a down. But they do have one generator, and they don't quite get a reset off. Renato being the only one found and healthy. Remember, going to get in distance, though, and they're going to be able to get away. I imagine they're going to be going to reset. Look at that. Yeah, there's still a weird effect on the ground from when they broke broke the turret the first time. And looks like our killer is taken to a very specific hook. I imagine it's gonna be a pain res. What is the progress? Yeah, Pedro about, quarter on a gen. They do get the reset off. Kind of a slightly rough start for the beginning, but they did delay that first stab. But like I said, they weren't on the gens nearly as aggressively, so we'll see if it pays off. Look at the double turret setup though. Look at this.
I mean, 2 layers of protection.
Yeah, it works out. All right, they find Renato over here. Running into the turret, they see it and they decide against it. That's what the survivors who I think we're looking to set up as these safe zones where you can put the turrets and just really stifle any power the Xenomorph has.
Yep.
Resilience, or not resilience, finesse again. Yes. However, swinging a miss, but that is still going to be an M1 hit potentially. No, they're actually going to have to get a tail hit through the window. Another nice shot though coming in from the Xenomorph. Killer looking around on the side for rotation. They do catch Renato, and they're just going to be pushing him away. Well, looks like Ada's going to be hanging out to second stage potentially here.
It is looking that way. The only one who can really get the save is Renato, and he's not going to make it.
Yeah, I think they're just going to accept the second stage is going to happen. However, unless second stage happens, I imagine Skill is going to break off and go after Renato. But it's going to finish the gen. I imagine it's going to be reset. Killer might actually be heading over there to try and interrupt a reset. No, they're debating. Well, I mean, if you know that 2 survivors over there resetting, you know that you can chase this survivor for free, and the gens aren't getting done in the process, so it's kind of a win-win.
And he got the second stage on Ada there, so he's feeling a little more comfortable.
True. Oh, but the second turret does break him out, but that means that the turrets are gone. Reset is going to be coming through. Do they actually go for the reset on Ace? Okay, they are going to finish a reset.
Someone not going for that save, I feel like is going to be an issue.
Possibly. I mean, they've got time. They can still make it across the map in time to get there. They might go for a double save, but yeah, at this point, because the Xenomorph knows where the survivors have been, they know that there's no gens being done at the moment. Yeah, they see 2 survivors coming in. They can get a double hit for this and make it a really bad trade. Because yeah, at this point, you really don't want the survivor to go to the last stage, because if they die, you've really got nothing to show for it at this point. Body blocks coming in. It's not even gonna be a hook trade, actually. Okay, Ace is gonna make sure it's a hook trade so that Ada gets distance, but yeah, that's rough.
That was last millisecond too.
It really was. And Ada doesn't have anything here. There's no turrets, there's no body blocks, there's no nothing. They're gonna be going down under the pallet. They're saying someone's here. Xenomorph's going to be checking, but this might actually be a bluff. Yeah, it is a bluff.
100% a bluff.
But, I mean, it wasn't a bluff last time, and the Xenomorph, like, obviously, if they actually get a stun here, that would actually be kind of devastating.
The paranoia
oh
shining
my
through.
goodness. This bluff is working.
Oh my goodness. He is wasting a lot of time with this bluff.
Either that, or maybe they think there's a potential decisive strike.
Maybe. Adas don't run DS.
There is no way. They really thought that there was someone there, and instead the reset fully comes in and they pop a gen. I think the killer just now realized, oh, no one was here. They just finished a gen and healing. They were bluffing. That might be one of the best bluffs in competitive I've ever seen. That was a value bluff.
That was a that was great.
Wow, okay. That gives their survivors a little bit of a chance here. Again, they're not in a great situation. It's still gonna be very tough. Oh, great dodge from Claudette. Oh my word. Zeno said, nah, I've had enough of that. I'd be careful, Xenomorph said, because there's that. Do you wait to see Zeno play Xenomorph?
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah. I'm sure that we as casters won't get tongue-tied.
Xenoception.
A little bit. Vlad doing a really good job at this loop. I think they'll get a second one here without taking a hit. Not breaking the wall, saying, you know what, I'll catch up on. Okay. Oh, they are gonna break the wall. I was gonna say, there's no way you can do this. They're gonna be leaving this chase altogether. Wait, survivors are actually kind of bringing this back. They were in a really tough spot, but if they can finish one more gen here, they're actually looking pretty good. I imagine that there's probably splitting gens. I don't imagine they're doubling up at the moment. No, they were doubling.
I don't know if that's necessarily the best play.
It depends on the gen setup. This is a split gen setup, I would say. So I think you could have afforded. Yeah, they are splitting. Okay, they were splitting them. Okay, I like that. They're about 50% on 2 separate gens. Huh? Oh, they dropped the turret.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Decoy.
Wait, they got. Okay, no, this is 2 gen setup. I thought.
Yeah, you can drop them without setting them up.
Interesting. Saving for a rainy day. Oh, 360 spin and Killer doing a 360 reenactment and saying, "I can't believe that missed."
That kind of miss is or whiff is detrimental.
It is. It burns you out. Like it's the opposite of serotonin. It is like anti-serotonin straight to the brain. And, all right, looks like turret is going to be set up, and they are going to get a kick on this gen. Survivors, they could be looking at some outs here, and I mean a lot of outs potentially. They're playing this very, very well. The Killer needs to get pressure ASAP, but these turret setups have been really good.
That's just the problem. You can only chase one person at a time.
And Claudette's on main with almost done. Oh my goodness. Balanced landing, gonna be getting distance, and the Xenomorph knows they're gonna be switching targets. Yeah, Claudette's gonna finish theirs, and then you got these two to finish. This is incredible.
It's gonna be very surprising if we don't get some outs here.
Absolutely. You know, we're going to be kicking this generator, trying to get something going, but the survivors are just having amazing calls. That's what I'm saying. Once the survivors spread out properly and get things going, it's tough to mount pressure on this Killer.
Yep.
However,
and
they do have a chance here.
All of our regression here is based on getting hooks or downs.
True.
So it's
oh, they miss it.
The vault fake there. Smart holding W.
Yeah, really good job. I think they know that there's going to be a gen popping momentarily from Ace. Platicgy coming in for a hit tank. No adrenaline play. And no Noed. However, I believe Renato does represent a fresh hook, because we've only seen one server get hooked this whole game. And it looks like the Xenomorph is just going to be like, all right, I need to get it. I need to get stages here, and they're going to be going for a hook. And the question is, if you are Elysium, are you okay with this result? Do you want... They got 2 fresh survivors. You could try and make this a 4-stage.
Yeah, you could. But trying to make it a 4-stage could easily just backfire.
True. Looks like Ace can be chased away. They might be staying at 4.5. Nasty hit over the top, though. And that could actually give them, it might be 5 stages, but it's going to be an extra fresh. Balance landing coming in, going to be going to the corner, and Ace might have actually trapped themselves. No, they're going back around the side, but it's not going to be a hit tank in the area. But you can still, like, survivors still have a chance here. You can come and get your reset on Renato, come in and get your unhook. You can still 5 stages, but this is an extra fresh hook. And most likely they are going to be going for a reset. The distance isn't too far to get here. Actually, I'm really curious what the survivor's endgame here is.
Are they gonna risk it, or are they just gonna walk out?
I imagine you want, like, you don't want to do 7 stages. Yeah, they're gonna be trying to get that exit gate open. And they think someone's rotating around from the side. Oh, this is a great idea from Renato. This is good teamwork. They're setting up a turret to mess with it. Exit gate is almost open. Unhook could be coming in momentarily. What's the play here, you two? They need to go before second stage.
I am on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, this is intense. There's the troubleshooter coming in. They know what's up. They missed the tail attack. Claudia's gonna be coming in. They get the unhook, but it will take the hits. Renato's there for the body block. No, but they missed it!
Oh, no!
Now you've got problems.
That's where I'm saying it can backfire so easily.
And this is a fresh stage.
Oh,
but you can't
boy,
go for the pickup
boy.
just yet because Renato does have the beamer. You have to be a bit careful here. But clearly you want to give up Ace because they represent not a fresh stage. This could go badly for the survivors here. Oh no, they're gonna give him another fresh stage. Okay, even if they make this heal here, and they've got to get out. This exit gate timer is ticking down.
We are also running out of time, yeah.
Yeah. They know that they're getting this heal real quick. They got to go fast. This has to be a very fast unhook. Hour is not quite back online. They are at their weakest for just a couple more seconds, but I don't think it's going to matter. Now you don't have the turret. You don't have the luxury of it. A's going to be hook bombing here. If you get this unhook now, I'd be worried about the endgame timer.
You have to run.
Oh, and they take the iframe hit though. Body blocks coming in. Okay, it looks like they are going to possibly confirm 6 stages, but oh my goodness, you gave him 2 extra fresh. That's a full 6 stage for fresh though.
That could easily be what determines the win-loss here.
Yeah. All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading back in for trial number 4. And the Xenomorph, it's not the toughest win condition, but it's going to be harder with 4 stages. 4 stage fresh is going to be rough. Ooh, already finding a survivor, though. We're off to the races.
Xenomorph by Xeno, the Xeno.
All right, listen here. It's too early for this.
Xeno squared?
I've had enough of you. Nasty hit coming in right off the bat, though, onto Ace. And they're actually staying at the pallet. They're not leaving. That's going to be an early down coming in for our survivors. I'm curious what... They barely had time to spread out. Now, granted, this is the exact spot that you want to go down. I see... This is like the go-to comp corner, I feel like, for this map.
Yep, absolutely.
However, first hook coming in. It's going to be a pain resonance. Technical... You know what? I respect that locker check. That is exactly where I would hide.
That is a big brain locker check.
Honestly, I mad respect the attempt. However, we see 2 survivors on a gen, only 25%, probably because of the pain res. And Xenomorph, looks like Adam is gonna be able to rotate around. That's the thing. The killer does have to get some seriously good fresh hooks. And I think that's what they're gonna be making use of in this build. No, we might actually see them go back. Immediate FTP coming in from Adam, though, onto Ace. Are they able to find the Adam, though? Adam would actually be not a bad find here just because as an extra pain res, you've got a lot of good early game pressure going on.
Yep.
But now, every second they aren't in chase, they don't find a survivor. That is going to be time lost. Is that a crow?
That's the thing about early game pressure. For a killer, early game pressure can just be gone in an instant.
And they are correct that Ace did stay back here. Big brain play coming in from the Xenomorph. The question is, can it be a 2-tap? Is it going to be a quick chase, or is it going to drag out a little bit? Do they get to main? Oh, that's an unfortunate one. I mean, it makes sense. They're trying to get the mangled hit. It's a really good hit. Makes it harder to reset if they get off the hook. However, yeah, it might be costing this time. Breaking the wall, and they're gonna be forced away. Going back over to here, first gen finishing. We see a second gen underway, though. Survivors have definitely brought this back. Again, Xenomorph, great first chase, great first pressure, but now you've got a little bit of a problem on your hands as these gens are
about
firing.
to pop too.
Yeah, exactly. However, this will be, I guess they are going for a standard tunnel out. Adam's just down to the point where they can get a heal. Missing the M2 again. Yeah, but I say M1 might have been just easier there, and they will take the M1. That is going to
for
be
the Palitech.
Yeah, going for a reset as well. Over on to Adam. They see that gen 50%. That's gonna be second hook coming in. If they can teleport over here, get a pop off, they might be able to hold this back down the fort. It's not gonna be an easy task, but I think the kill, I feel like, has a little bit more pressure than last time, but the survivors did a really good job beating it. Yeah, it's doable, but the survivors had a really good moment there for about a minute where the killer had literally nothing to go on. They find Renato here in the back corner of their map next to Shaq. Not gonna be doing their best around. I hate the hitbox on that, by the way. The hitbox on that tile is rough. Going for an M2 and whiffing. They've got a second chance here. They get the second one on Renato. Are they gonna vault? Yeah, they are.
I was gonna say, go use your pop.
Yep, as I was saying, and we see another FTP onto Ace again from Adam. And Renato's gonna be kept back here. I like going for Renato here actually and trying to get it down. It's gonna be another pain rest, potentially another pop. You're in your gen setup, but you want to be in where there's active gen progress. This is kind of the chase that you want to be taking. Mind games coming in. I say, does Renato have some kind of stealth perk? I swear I can't hear them. Yeah, they have Iron Will. I was about to say, they are very silent.
Yep. Running Shaq very efficiently, too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they got the mind game too. And they're still not in chase, I think. Yeah, they just now got back into chase. Yeah, Renato doing a really good job on the Shaq here. And it does block off, and that will be a down. But I say you could have gone to basement, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to be taking the locker pick. And we see Ace even setting up for the unhook. They know the sacrificial lamb they want to give away. There's 2 more gens underway. Almost done on Nia.
Very close to done, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a basement hook, though. It's going to be a little bit difficult. He is definitely going to finish her gen. Adam is also, the question is, do they predict what gen they need to go to? If they predict correctly, they might be able to stop Adam's gen. Yeah, that's
the problem with Xenomorph's mobility is it's a static mobility. You got to go somewhere to be mobile.
Right. They actually do predict correctly, but it's not in time. Oh. However, this is a fresh hook. You've still got time.
This would be the tie condition.
No, not quite. This will be third fresh. Nia still hasn't been hooked yet. If you can get this hook though, that'll be 4 stages, 3 fresh, and you've still got 1 gen to go through. They get the final hit onto Adam. Ace healing Renato at the moment. And
thankfully a quick down, and we don't see a lot in the way of gen progress at the moment, so.
True, not a lot going for. And that's gonna be second pain res. So it does hit something, which I don't think it was actually Renato's gen. It must have been a different generator that got hit. Slower exit of the tunnel as it is near the unhook or the hook. The problem is though, I don't know if you can afford to camp this. Maybe you can't, I don't know. Look at these turrets though, they are prepared. He is hanging out for the unhook potentially if they need to. Gonna come over here, reapply eruption. Unhook coming in, they're gonna be able to kick this gen. They're still broken. Oh, that's from the, they're not still broken. That is a second wind on Adam, actually.
I was about to say,
FTP, yeah. FTP second wind. Glorious combination, I approve. And now they're doubling up on 2 separate gens. They need to find Nia, but they also need 2 more stages. And that's going to be kind of a tough call, potentially, because everyone's full healed. They find Adam once again. But that's the thing. If you get the survivor down and you kill them, you don't meet the fresh condition. You've got to find a last survivor. Yeah, and this chase is taking too long. But the problem is, now you got survivors doubling. They're about to finish the last generator.
Yep.
Oh, no.
And Nia is playing it super safe here.
You absolutely have to. They're going to be crawling right next to him. Do they notice the footsteps? No, they don't. It's going to be too late. That is going to be the last gen finish.
Ooh.
They needed Nia, and it's going to be a little bit too late, potentially. They need to get 2 downs, and I'm about to say it's falling apart. Xenomorph was not Elysium's pick. It was Eternal's pick. And now they're going to try and zone them, keep them on this half of the map. They're only, yeah, the exit gates are on the opposite side, so maybe if they can zone them away from it. Already got 3 survivors looking to get out.
Yep.
And that is going to be more than enough, as Zaka is going to be getting hatch here in just a second, waiting for it to spawn. And that is going to be a 4-man out, 4 stages.
Very well done.
Yeah, Eternal played that really, really well.